Hello, everybody. I suggest that we start. I'm Alesh, and with me is Dejan. So this webinar is organized by eKnowtion, which is a company behind Business Central Insights, a set of extendable Power BI apps with more than 350 pre-built reports across all Business Central functional areas. We're passionate about Business Central data, and today we want to share with you how you can make Power BI an important addition to the Business Central solution stack. Before we continue, I need to inform you that this webinar is recorded and will be published on Business Central Insights YouTube channel. So when it comes to ERPs, Microsoft Business Central is really a great choice with well-rounded functionalities, extension capabilities, and a global network of really experienced partners. However, reporting remains a bit of a challenge. Standard reports are limited and based on the operational system. Reporting customizations require expert knowledge. And available third-party tools are rather traditional and mostly require some form of data staging. Within Microsoft's stack, Power BI is the obvious solution, but connecting it to your Business Central instance, building a semantic model, and then finally creating relevant dashboards requires expertise and time. Starting from scratch, you have two big gaps to close. And that's why Business Central Insights were built. It's an amazing set of Power BI apps with more than 350 pre-built reports and dashboards across all functional areas. And this includes also more complex ones like manufacturing, projects, and service management. The underlying star schema semantic model is optimized for Business Central data, and the connector is built as Business Central extension, allowing for a swift plug-and-play installation and connection. Business Central Insights are not an ad hoc development sourced from some project, facelifted, and packed as a product. It's a truly comprehensive solution built with a clear and distinct vision over several years. By now, more than 100 customers with more than 500 Power BI users are using it for their reporting, and their valuable feedback is driving further product updates. And yes, Business Central Insights apps are constantly getting 5-star reviews. So now Dejan will start to share his screen, and let's first check how to kick off apps, and then let's have a quick look and feel across most important functional areas.
Thank you, Alesh. Well, let's start at the beginning. So the first step would be how to download our apps and connect them with your Business Central data. So on our website, businesscentralinsights.com, we have installation page, and there's a short 5-minute video with 5 steps on how to install the app. I'll quickly go through, even though it's all documented on our website. So the first step would be to install the connector app. This is an extension for Business Central. We simply select free trial, and once installed, you will find it in your Business Central. Now the connector app will, of course, expose all the data towards Power BI, all the REST APIs and so on, but you would also have additional configuration options. Now you can immediately see that all our apps are multi-company. You can choose which companies you want to import into your Power BI. Now, once you install the connector app, the second step would be to start 30-day trial. So you can start 30-day trial. So you have the whole month to test our apps with your data. Now, step 3 is simply to install Power BI apps. We have, at the moment, 11 Power BI apps. And they're all available on Microsoft App Source. Then simply select Get It Now, and this will actually create a new workspace in your Power BI tenant. Now, once you open the workspace, you'll be asked to connect your data. You click on this, and there are 2 parameters. Company filter, we recommend to leave it as all, so that all companies are imported. The ones that basically you selected in the connector app and enabled here. And then the second parameter is environment. So you simply put the name of your Business Central parameter and put it with the capital letters. So in this case, production, you would select next, sign in and connect, and then data refresh will start automatically. As simple as that. Now, the last step, of course, is to share our apps with your colleagues. You don't want to keep our apps for yourself, of course. So there are 2 main ways of how you can share our apps. So you can share the entire workspace, or you can share the app itself. And both approaches are described on our website. And this is pretty much it. So the whole process can be it can be up and running in 10 minutes, and then you can start evaluating our apps. One of our most popular apps is Sales Insights. And I'll start with Sales Insights and give a little bit introduction. So when you open the app, the Sales Insights app, you will find there are two kind of groups of reports, main groups of reports. You have customer sales, you have item sales, and I'll spend some time describing the difference. So the customer sales simply means your total sales, and item sales would be sales only posted through items. Now, for example, if you post something on GL account, when you create a sales order or sales invoice, this would not be reflected in those reports, item sales. However, the value would be visible in the total customer sales, right? Now, our recommendation is, of course, to post your sales through items, and Microsoft that's therefore introduced service items that you can use instead of resources or GL accounts, and that means all your analytics will be on the line level in those reports. Now, I will start with just simply sales overview, and in this place I'll just show you some navigation options to see how you can, this is all standard Power BI. So all our apps are built in a consistent way. So you will have a menu on the left side with most popular filters. Dimension 1 will be here, dimension 2. Now, all of the other filters you will find in the filters pane on the right-hand side. And you can apply filters. For example, you want to filter by salesperson, Tony Stark, and that would filter report. And now you see all sales for this specific salesperson. You can see there his top customers, and now I can select top 3, and that will cross-filter the rest of the report. And now I can see sales by month. Now I can even do further. I can drill through to see what are the invoices related to this first customer, right? So I can select drill through, click on customer ledger entries, and here I'll see a list of invoices. Okay, the third invoice has 100,000, and I want to know more. I can quickly click on document number, and this will actually bring me back to Business Central. So all those underlined values are links back to Business Central. Okay, so now I can go back and I return back to this screen. So the Business Central will open with the same invoice, filtered with the same invoice, of course. Let's take a minute. And that now from here, obviously you can select find entries and then further navigate and find other related entries to this invoice. I would also like to explain those drill down up buttons because they're commonly used on all of our, let's say, visuals. So the arrow up simply means drill up, right? So if I drill up, I go to the first level, which is fiscal year. Now, 2 arrows means to go to the next level in the hierarchy. So from year, I click once, I go to quarter, I go to month, week, and so on, right? And then there is single arrow. This means I can enable drill mode, and now I can drill to specific item, in this case, month. So I can choose a month, let's say November, and now I only see weeks in November, of course, that have sales for Tony and so on, right? So those are the first 3 drill down up options. Now from here, let's say I applied lots of filters and I need to reset the report. Now, obviously, Power BI added this convenient button, Reset Filters. If I click on this, it will bring me back to the first, to the original view, back to the square one. So that means you cannot break the reports. You can filter, apply any kind of filter, drill through and all that. You can always reset everything. It will bring you back here. Okay, next, I will introduce our cubes report. So cubes are really popular, especially when you start with Power BI. with cubes, you have lots of flexibility to analyze data and to show different measures and by different basically fields and so on. There are multiple cubes in each app. So in this case, I'll show item sales cube. Now, immediately you can see that in cubes reports, you can select multiple rows or columns or measures. And I'll give you an example. So let's say we want to show sales by salesperson by quarter and item sales, which is already selected. And I have a report ready. But now I want to know to which cities this salesperson shipped items. So which cities the items were shipped. So there is a ship to city here, and I can select multiple rows. How do I do this? I press Control key on the keyboard so I can select multiple, and this plus icon will appear. And now I can drill down. And now this is the fourth icon here, which says expand all down one level in the hierarchy. So now for each salesperson, I have a list of cities. And I can continue. I can say, oh, but what are the customers in each city? I have a list of customers. And now I can say, what are the items that those customers purchased? I can continue, right? But now I can even add another measure. So I have sales and profit. Now, if this is a report, I can change to focus mode to have full screen of this report. Maybe this report I want to view periodically and I want to basically save this view. I can also do that. So here I can use bookmarks and I can save this as a personal bookmark. So next time when I can just simply open a bookmark and it will bring me back to the same report with the same filters and selections applied. Okay. So now, because there are many finance experts on our joining our call today, I will continue with our finance app. Now, the finance app is pretty much the only app that requires a little bit extra setup in Business Central, and I will show you that where the setup is available. So that's the GL account categories. So GL account categories is a standard Business Central functionality. It's a really powerful tool because you can basically create a structure of your financial reports, basically your financial statements. So you can create any kind of structure here, pretty much rename the categories, move up, down, out, ident, and so on, and create really a structure of your financial report that you want to see. Now, all we did here, we added 2 extra columns where you will map your standard, basically your account categories with account subcategory Power BI and account subcategory to Power BI. And this is one of setup. So I'll give you an example. For assets, you will just simply say which are current, non-current. For current, there are some additional options such as liquid assets, accounts receivable, prepaid expenses, inventory, and so on. Now, in our reports, those GL account categories will be visible, which means they can be in your language, translated, and basically aligned with your financial statements. Now, in addition to that, we also have another setup in the connector app, which is called PLL Statement Categories. So you can even create a structure of your P&L statement dynamically, create a description of your P&L statement groups, decide what is visible or not, and then all of this will be reflected in Power BI. So the structure that you created there will be visible here. You see all of those categories. And now I can drill down, of course, to see GL account categories and individual GL accounts. I can also see P&L statement by any time period, even accounting period. I can see a P&L statement by any dimension or even by company, because like I said, all our apps are multi-company. That means that you can see your different companies alongside each other and consolidated view across those. Next, I would like to show you how easy it is to analyze data by dimensions, by financial dimensions. And for that, we created a separate type of cube reports. We call it Dimension Cube. And Dimension Cube will have your financial dimensions as columns, like here. We have each dimension values one column, or as rows. Now, dimension cubes also support dimensional hierarchy. So for example, in your Business Central, you can set up your dimensions in a hierarchical way. So for example, sector will have dimension values, and you can set up with end totals, those dimension groups, right? And you can create any kind of structure here with different levels of hierarchies. And all of that would be reflected in Power BI. So if I click here on sector, I can simply drill down to see subsectors and industries, and I can drill down multiple levels. Okay, next, I will just quickly overview our manufacturing app, just to basically let you know that it exists. We have a manufacturing app with all the data model that includes all the, of course, manufacturing tables, production orders, production cost, capacity, and so on. And you'll find there are many reports. It's just production overview. You will have a, let's say, standard cost variance that you can immediately filter by finish date, and you will have a report ready. Even capacity, such as actual versus expected capacity. But I would encourage you to contact us for more details.
It's really amazing that you can have all this Business Central data at your fingertips in Power BI. But let's face it, I mean, even with this nearly unlimited set of analytical capabilities, you would at a certain point still want to get some data to Excel and then tweak them further there for further analysis.
Absolutely, that's true. You cannot escape Excel. And Power BI supports different ways of how you can export your data to Excel. So you could either export data specific to one visual. So this is a matrix visual. And what you can do, you can simply select more option, export data, and you can choose different ways of how you can export data. So data with current layout will export only what's visible, and then summarized data will export some summarized underlying entries, right? But however, this is only linked to specific visual. What we recommend is to select export, analyze in Excel. Now, this is really powerful feature because it will connect Excel with our semantic model. Now, what it means is that all the tables, all measures, and basically complete semantic model will be available for you in Excel. And now you can create basically any kind of reports here. Now, the good thing about this approach is that you can save this Excel. Next time you open it, you will have here option to refresh data, and it will update your data from, from the latest transaction. So that means that you only need to create report here once. And I'll give you some examples. So this right now we connected to our inventory data set, and in inventory, of course, we have inventory values, we have inventory quantities, and maybe we want to show our inventory value, total inventory value by item, for example. Or by item category first. So let's add item category as the first level, and then we can add item number and description, right? And now we can add additional fields. So you see that this already created a structure here. Now we can say, okay, I also want to know not only value, but also quantity. So I can add inventory quantity, balance as well. Maybe I want to do some inventory planning, and I want to know what's the quantity on sales orders or maybe on purchase orders. And I want to also see what is the total sales and even sales profit for those items, right? So that's how simply you can create a report. Now, you can even add something as columns. Now, this is a multi-company data set, so I can put company name as columns. And now I have, for each company, this kind of a report. So you see, with few clicks, we created quite sophisticated report contains lots of data and calculations, and you can see that it basically refreshes in less than 1 second. It works really fast, and that's because of Power BI, because Power BI reporting model is optimized for reading data for reporting.
Yeah, and now one more thing. So Business Central is really widely appreciated for its flexibility, and usually implementations would include some custom extensions or even ISV solutions. So how can data from custom extensions or ISV, how can ISV fields flow through Business Central Insights connector to Power BI and then extend out-of-the-box reports?
Yeah, so we have lots of customer requirements. They'd ask, for example, oh, we have this extra field on the customer table, or we have this extra field on the item table, or how do we bring this, let's say, table extension fields into Power BI? And therefore, we added table extension setup functionality. What it means is that you can simply add extra fields through setup. So you have here a table, let's say item, and you can just drill down and see a list of all the fields available in this table. That will include your extension fields, that includes ISV extension fields, and so on. And you can add those fields here. Next time you refresh dataset, the field will be available in your dataset, even with standard report, in the cube reports, in the filters, and so on.
Great. So far we've seen the cubes and how to create different views and so on. But then we've seen that with some clients, there might be specific requirements like kind of fully customized dashboards or analysis combining data from Business Central and other data sources. It's quite often that you want to challenge your item or customer profitability with some additional cost allocation. So the costs which are not really posted to GL or they're posted to GL only as an aggregate, or you want to enrich your sales analysis with some external data. Let's imagine now that, let's say we have a product and this product, or our products target millennials. And let's again imagine that we've recently started our sales in Australia, and now we want to understand our market penetration across states. And we already have sales information available in Business Central Insights, semantic model, and in Power BI. However, millennials population data is not in Business Central. It's an external data source, which we have in Excel. And let's now see how we can easily extend Business Central Insights.
Yeah. Well, the first step would be to open Power BI Desktop, of course, and then from here, you will connect to our published semantic model. Now, the sales data is stored in the Sales Insights semantic model. So what I'll do as a first step, I'll connect Power BI with Sales Insights semantic model. So what happened here is that Power BI Desktop will create a live connection to this published dataset or semantic model. And now soon on the right-hand side here in the data section, I'll see all the tables and measures available in this semantic model. And basically now I can already start building reports. But as Aleš mentioned, in our case, we need some external data. That could be anything. That could be Excel workbook. In our case is Excel. And it will ask us immediately to add a local model. So now Power BI would add a local model connected to our standard semantic model pretty much. Now in this demonstration, we will show how to do this with Excel, but that could be anything. Like I mentioned, it could be a web service, it could be another SQL database, your CRM system, doesn't matter. Here you can choose which tables you want to include from this semantic model, and I want to include all. Now this is possible only because of the recent, well, not too recent, but one of the recent functionalities in Power BI called composite models, which means that you can basically combine different semantic data models together and create new reports from that, right? So basically we're extending our standard report, standard semantic model with external table. Now Power BI is asking me, okay, I need to select Excel file. So I already prepared the file, population by state. and I'll simply select the one. There's a table which has all the numbers, and I'll click Transform Data just to rename the table. Maybe I can call it Population by State, and then I will select Close and Apply. Now this will import Excel table. First it will ask, there is a security risk, and that's simply because we're combining two different data sources together. In this case, of course, I'm willing to take this risk, and this will import population by state table. Now I'll see it on the right-hand side here. And I'll go to the model view. And what I'll do, I will add this table. Let me find it. Here we go. I'll add it here. Now, next important step is I want to connect this table from Excel with our standard semantic model. And I know in my data set, dimension 1 is actually state. So dimension 1 code, I can simply create a relationship between dimension 1 code and state code. And here I need to choose what relationship is appropriate. Now, many to one is okay in this case, because I know that our data set is multi-company, so there'll be many codes here. It's not unique, but all I would like to do is select cross-filter direction both, because I want to filter population by state from dimension 1. And I'll select OK, and this will create new relationship. Now you see, all the tables that are in our standard semantic model, they have this blue line here. If I can click Add Related Tables, I have all those tables here. But this external table doesn't have that. Now I can see the difference, right? Next, I will add a simple measure here. So I'll go to this table, population. Where is it again? Here we go. So I'll add a simple measure here. I'll just call it sales by millennial. Okay. Sales by millennial. And I want to calculate this as I want to divide standard sales measure. So that will be our total sales with population millennials in the selected state. Okay. Now, this is just a simple demonstration. Now that we have measure, we can create a report. So we'll choose a visual that's the most appropriate. Very simple one will be just a column chart. And we can add this measure here. And then we could show this by dimension 1 name. Let me just find it quickly here. We have dimension 1 name. Here we go. And then we can add another, let's say, we can format this so on. So here are our numbers. So we have average sales amounts per millennial. And this is just a quick demonstration. You see, I spent maybe 4 to 5 minutes on how to do that.
Thank you, Dejan, very much. I think we have just a little bit of time left to do the wrap up. So I think you've seen that basically with more than 350 pre-built reports, with all these features, with basically extensibility and everything that you can see, Business Central Insights are really a kind of true game changer. And they're really optimized. Their star schema semantic model is optimized for Business Central data, and it can be leveraged also for customized reports and combining external data and so on. And again, installation is really plug and play, so it can be really just a 10 minutes effort. And also pricing is basically no-brainer. And you can start with a 30-day free trial. So feel free to drop us an email or use the book a call link if you need any help or if you have any questions. And thank you very much. And yeah, we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. And now maybe we can spend a few more minutes for any questions. You can just type your questions in the chat or in the Q&A, and we can answer those questions. Now we can, if there are no questions, we could, we have few topics. Maybe we can mention that. So Power BI Pro license is required for all the users that use our apps. So that's in addition to the subscription for the app. So each user that can access our reports would need Power BI Pro license.
Okay, we've just got some kudos in the meeting chat. That's the only thing.
Excellent. No, we have great feedback.
Thank you for the feedback, and we really appreciate feedback because this is the kind of iterative way how we improve our apps. Okay.
Now, one of the features that is most likely or quite certainly coming very soon is translations. So we're working on that right now. So in probably a few weeks, there will be hopefully German version, French version, and then in the future also Spanish version and so on. So we'll support multiple languages as well.
Okay.
Perfect. Then I'll just like to say, really appreciate everyone for joining, and anytime feel free to reach out for any questions, and hope we can talk to you soon.